Hello, my friends. About a month ago, I made a video titled Loving Our Parkinson's Body. And it was a great reminder. I love that video, but then I started to think about okay, well, how? How do we actually love our Parkinson's body and feel like we can be sexy or attractive with this disease? And I'm not trying to suggest that anybody has to feel attractive with Parkinson's. I'm not saying that in any way. So if it's not a priority for you, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, where I'm at in my life, my age, where I'm at with this disease, it is something that is on my mind and that is important to me. I would like to be attractive or feel attractive or feel, sexy when I need to feel that way. And like I've said in other videos, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert on mental health. These are just my thoughts and my opinions and things that I do that help me feel good about myself with Parkinson's disease. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. It absolutely helps my channel grow and my videos reach more people with Parkinson's. No one has to have Parkinson's disease in order to not feel attractive. Many of us have self-confidence issues without having Parkinson's. Parkinson's adds this very complicated layer to, an issue that a lot of us have struggles with anyways. So how do we resolve it? Because having Parkinson's, the conflict is that, the disease itself is just it's not sexy. One of the ways that I've resolved this is just through acceptance. Acceptance that I have this disease first and foremost, because fighting it is just not the best use of my time. A better use of my time would be, okay, how can I, what are my goals in terms of feeling attractive or good about myself having this disease, like exercise, maybe losing some weight, or doing certain things that make me feel good about myself despite having this disease. I'm a big believer that that when you're drawn to people or you find certain people more attractive than others, there's something within them. There's just that energy. They're comfortable with themselves. They just exude that kind of confidence, and not in an overt or rude way, but it's just there's something kind of subtle that you can feel. So I feel like in order to ultimately be attractive, or for other people to find you attractive, you have to feel it yourself. It has to come from within. So that's where I feel where the work should be, okay, on acceptance. That's just one example, right? And then just an understanding, it's just we're totally human, and that we're just not always gonna look amazing every single day. And that ties into expectations of ourselves, not having these just unrealistic expectations of ourselves, of our looks, of our bodies, and understanding that we're gonna have good days, so maybe more attractive days than others. So what if you do, if you've found acceptance, that you have Parkinson's and your symptoms, and you're all good and at peace with that, but you're maybe out there dating? I feel like the dating world isn't one that really builds your confidence. I feel like it's a world that really shakes your confidence quite a bit, and it's incredibly challenging. And I think the easy thing to do would be just to blame Parkinson's. And while you can't completely discount it as a factor, I just wouldn't go there that it's the main and only factor, because the thing is there are people out there who have met each other with Parkinson's disease. I had Parkinson's disease when I met the gentleman that I ended up marrying. I would resist blaming Parkinson's as the reason for maybe not having success in the dating world. I would also expose myself to this. I read a lot of bad dating stories. I was reading one recently about this woman who found out this guy that she was dating was married, and she confronted him in the morning, after they had spent the night together. And literally this woman said that she confronted him, and they were having this discussion about it. She had to go to the bathroom, and she came back 60 seconds later, and the guy was out the door. Took his clothes, didn't even get dressed. She saw him running down the hallway half naked, he just wanted to bounce. I mean, it's just wow. There's some crazy dating stories out there. So like, expose yourself to some of those stories, and just, you know, remind yourself that it's not easy. Dating's not easy. Period. It's definitely not easy with Parkinson's, but it can be done. So keep that faith and that belief in yourself that yes, you still got it. And then, so what about for those of us who are in long-term relationships? It's easy for, like, when you're not in that like honeymoon phase, just kind of get comfortable with things and, you know, not do the things that you used to do to, you know, attract each other in the past. So like in those situations, I mean, I've just, like, in my situation, I've asked my husband to, you know, to compliment me a little bit more. You know, he's very attentive and super affectionate. I'm so lucky. But, you know, and I asked him to, and he said, you know what, you're totally right. So the other day I thought you were looking so good and I didn't say anything. He's like, I don't know why I didn't say anything. And I'm like, well, you should have. I'd love to hear it. So, you know, take the initiative in your relationships and ask. And if you're not in like a long-term relationship, you know, ask your friends. Just say, hey, you know, I feel pretty good about myself, or I'm not feeling really good about myself. And, you know, I'd love just maybe, you know, every now and then, if you could, if I'm looking good, remind me how good I'm looking. And I think you'd find that, you know, your friends would be so supportive and responsive to a request like that. And I'm sure they need it themselves. So, you know, likewise, you know, if you're looking for something like that, you know, throw some compliments someone's way, even a stranger that, you know, you don't know. It just, as long as they're sincere. I'm a believer in sincere compliments, not the phony ones. But my God, if I was like really needing some compliments, you know, because I was feeling bad about myself, I might take some. So, and lastly, I'm going to end on just like doing things that make yourself feel good about yourself. Like, I love doing things for me that make me feel good about myself. Like, again, because I feel like it comes from within. Like, we have to somehow find those the within ourselves that makes us feel good about ourselves, that makes us feel attractive. So for me, it's like exercise for sure, hiking with my dog. I mean, like, when some of my little hikes, I'll sprint. I'll do like a short sprint with her, and it just feels so good. I'm like, yeah, you still got it, girl. You know, writing, doing these videos, interacting socially with people, my friends, still getting out there. And, you know, and I have to say too, that when I'm in public and I get dyskinetic, I do not look at anyone else. I do not want to see other people staring at me. If they're staring, I just don't want to know, and I don't care. I find like a nice like la la land place to be in, and the truth of it is, it's like, I'm never going to see these people again. They're not friends of mine. If they want to judge and look at me, fine, let them do it. But I don't want to see that look in someone's eyes that could just, you know, crush me or hurt me, you know, even temporarily. I just don't want to see it. There's just no need for it. So I tend to like either look at my phone or like look at the book that I'm reading, or just focus on the person that I'm with. And then, you know, like my husband, he definitely gets really protective of me, and he's seen other people, you know, doing things that are rude. But I tend to like really shy away and stay away from that. Like, I don't want to bring it into my happy realm. Anything that I can do that just makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Like, I mean, I don't go crazy, but I do love expensive jeans. So treating myself to things like a spa day, a massage, a nice pair of jeans, a new pair of shoes, something that like I can put on that will just give me that little extra oomph, you know, where I feel like, yeah, you know, I'm feeling like I've still got it and I look good today. So, okay, I think that's all I've got. Tell me what you think about this subject, because I mean, I feel like I could go on and on about it. It's really tricky, you know. I mean, like, how do you know, keep and maintain a healthy level of self-confidence when you have a disease like Parkinson's? And you know, and again, I know I say this a lot, but it's not always Parkinson's specific. I mean, I remember during the pandemic, I wanted to play in the World Series of Poker, and I went to Reno to get a hotel, to stay in a hotel room, because you could do it online. I don't think they were playing in person that year. But anyways, I'd gotten out of the shower and I'm looking at this, you know, beautiful hotel mirror, and I look at the insides of my elbows and I see that like the skin is sagging, and I'm like, oh my God, like I've got saggy elbows. It's just like, oh, like I'm getting old. And like that's just kind of another element too, I think, of of Parkinson's and that amplification of just everything. It's just like, damn, you know, like I'm not gonna get plastic surgery on my sagging skin elbows, but it's just like, we change. And it's all about accepting those changes and then finding, I guess, new ways to adapt, or, you know, like things that we've done maybe in the past, you know, again, we're not going to be able to do, but, you know, what can we do? What can we do to make ourselves feel good with this disease, right? That's what we want to know about. That's my focus here. What can we do? I want to hear from you. What did you think of this? Should I do more videos like this in this kind of subject realm? Comment. How do you keep feeling attractive? Are you struggling with it? I mean, whatever you have to say it. That's what this channel is all about. And thank you as always.